Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for my least favorite segment on this channel, the Yunoreview, where I discuss in brief a series of records I have not touched down upon in a full review this past month, so I'm just going to talk about them a little bit briefly here, sometimes very briefly, other times a little briefly, but, you know, just abridged. This is a sweet little neo-soul record from Bilal, Kendrick Lamar collaborator. He is also a solo artist, obviously. He has numerous albums under his belt at this point. Had one record in the early 2000s, but I guess didn't really sort of continue his solo career for a while past that point. Has been releasing albums again recently, some of which have been kind of, I don't know, just plainly or cleanly produced. Wasn't really seeing the hubbub or anything around his solo material. But then he teams up with none other than Adrian Younge on this new project over here, who you might remember also produced music for Ghostface Killah's album 12 Reasons to Die, produced that record with his band. And coming together with Bilal on this record was a really great move for both of them. I mean, the instrumentals are great. Bilal's performances are good as well. I'm not so crazy about some of the songs, but this is a good neo-soul record with some great production, a lot of personality, a lot of color, and some impressive features as well. Big crits on here, and Kendrick has a fantastic feature too. Didn't want to, wait too long to talk about this thing. Didn't want to wait several weeks in order to sort of get a review out for it this month, so I figured I would just talk about it at the top of this video and just let you know you should check this out. If you heard that Kendrick Lamar record and you loved it, you should check this out. If you heard Adrian Younge's production, if you love vintage, old school, just rock and funk and soul instrumental sounds, you should check out this record. Cool? Cool. All right, this one, Norwegian band. For a while now, they've been fusing jazz, funk, electronic music, and dance music a little bit too. On their last record, they kind of departed in this direction. It didn't come together too well, but I think those sounds and those styles are fused together much better on this new project over here. If you'd love to hear those genres sort of pulled together into these lengthy instrumentals, please do give this thing a listen. But for me personally, I do think some of the jams get kind of mild as they continue. I think Jaga Jazzist has a fantastic way of starting off tracks. Some of the songs here end well as well, but when it comes to just kind of the meat, the point of tension, the centerpieces of these songs, it can get a little stale, that's all. They do it again. They really do it again. They make hyped, just in-your-face garage punk again. Shout out to White Reaper. This is a super nostalgic, just heavy, old school stoner rock type record. I mean, really bringing back the sounds of Sabbath on this project. And they definitely do the sound justice. There's no denying that. But in a way, they do kind of sound like a cover band a little bit, but they're not covering songs. They're just covering a sound, which I'm just not too crazy about. Again, they do the sound justice. If you really want to hear this sound, check out this band because they do the sound justice. I was just hoping they would kind of carve out, a niche for themselves within it, and I don't think they do that on this new project. Sons Greg Anderson and vocalist Peter Stahl coming together again on another Goatsnake record, the band's first LP in like 15 years. So I don't know, like in a way, a comeback album. And it definitely gives you what the album title itself says. I mean, you're getting this really heavy, bluesy rock music. And I mean, I really love the production. It's super heavy, super thick. I mean, the great production you would expect from something that Greg Anderson is involved with. But Stahl's vocals, not too crazy about them. I think he's a little too campy sometimes on these tracks, but still a lot of the songs are pretty decent. Definitely check this out if you're looking for something just with a strong, soulful rock vibe and just some great modern production. Just really cool mix of the new and the old in terms of sounds and aesthetics and just the playing style. Huh! Oh! Outside of a couple tracks, I'm really not. This album sounds like someone recorded to audio their performance art project that they got a C on in art school. Okay, I get it. This record has a different vibe from most hip-hop albums, but it's not, super corny or super, like, cringeworthy like, some of these alternative rappers or anything like that. It's decent. It has some decent moments to it. It has personality, but just after a while, hearing somebody try to be so dark and so deep and so just in a state of just darkness and depth for so long just gets really tiring and really old and makes the record feel like it has just a lack of variation, just kind of a one-dimensional personality. I just wish this album had, more gears, more just changes. I like the darkness on some of the tracks, but I just wish it changed it up just a little bit. Is this okay? Is this album great? No. But I mean, I really had no reason to expect it was going to be great. Ludacris, he's had some fantastic singles, but even his best stuff back in the 2000s was just like okay. He's never been like an amazing album artist. He's always had great songs, great singles, but when it's come to the album, when it's come to the long game, Ludacris has never really been one of those amazing rappers. And now, on this new project, even the singles aren't that great. Like the very cringy Grass is Greener, like, oh, I used to do this, and now I do this. I wanted to do that, but now I changed my mind. Grass is greener. And then other tracks like Charge It to the Rap Game, which is just like a really bitter, diary-like song about just Ludacris's fall in fame in the rap game, which, like, I don't know, dude. If you want to stay current, if you want to stay relevant in hip-hop, you've got to keep up with the trends of the genre. I mean, it's not anybody's fault that you collabed with Bieber and then fell off the face of the planet. What can you say? Some UK art pop and psych on this record. A lot of people have been asking me what I think about this LP. It's okay. I like the instrumentals. I think the band's songs aren't too bad, but I just don't care for the vocals. The vocals do absolutely nothing for me whatsoever, especially when they're sort of harmonized in this Beach Boys type way. I mean, I think Django definitely like shoots for Beach Boys like level talent in songwriting, but sort of falls a little short, at least in the performance end of things, especially on the vocals. And to sort of end things off, this little Milo side project over here, if you're into just alternative, left field, abstract stuff over some strange beats and some, very quirky references, but I think Milo emotionally and just what he's trying to say on these songs is way more esoteric, just way more hard to wrestle with. I've spoken with him before about his love of philosophy, and particular rappers, not rappers, but philosophers whose works are kind of difficult to read and understand. And I kind of feel like that's a little bit of his approach on this project, even though he calls it plain speaking. At least for me anyway, it seems a little bit like the opposite. And yeah, I mean, I think he sort of experiments a little sonically and stylistically on this project, too. There are some rap flows on here that do feel like, actual direct, like tempo riding rap flows, which he usually sort of sidesteps a little bit, sort of in exchange for a flow that sort of borders on spoken word a bit. And here, I don't really think it's that cohesive of a project, but he's definitely experimenting, trying some new things, some of which I wouldn't really mind hearing on his next main Milo album when he does see fit to drop another one of those in the future. And yeah, those are all the records I wanted to touch down on with at this Why You Know review. Thank you for watching.
Transition? Well, I hope you have a good day. Forever. Oh, and, subscribe. Hit the goddamn subscribe button. Waiting. I'm waiting. Oh, okay, there you go. There you go. Good job. Good job. Thank you. Thank you.